this morning. I woke up, I'm feeling so blessed. Thank him every day cause I'm alive. I woke up this morning. I woke up, I'm feeling so blessed. All praises due to the Most High. I woke up this morning. I woke up, I woke up this morning. I'm feeling so blessed. I woke up this morning. I felt so blessed. Your eyes opening up, that feeling is the best. Today's another day. I escaped death. Tomorrow might not be the same. I don't know what's next. I just know that last prayer getting done before I rest. Ain't no sleep until I done it. But you getting prayed before the sun come in. You don't know the hour when that day come in. So I gotta stay prayed up till that day come in. I'm ready to say I woke up. I'm grateful that I woke up. That's another day for growth, and that's why I should blow up. Just understand, one day we gon' have to go up, and we gon' meet them close up. They act like they don't know such. Well, I'ma tell you this much. Oh my Lord, no, I will never switch up. There's gonna be some tests and some trials just to
Peace, peace. This is Eric the Mad Scientist. Come with you another one. Just bring some content. This one right here is explaining the spirit, the firmament, demons, just breaking down some stuff for the people, adding some stuff to the content, trying to bring reality to it and explain how Hebrew thought was and how her culture really wrote this stuff down and how deep it really is. And most people are just knowing it on a surface level, So we could get into it. Hope y'all enjoy. Again, you can find me on this show. You can find me on Yasha Big Israel YouTube. You can find me on TikTok, Eric the Mad Scientist, Facebook, Instagram, True Heart 30. And I got my own YouTube. I don't put a lot of stuff up, but you can find me on there. But I'm about to get to it. Again, hope y'all enjoy. Let's get it. Okay. Spirit is oxygen. I'm gonna explain that. I'm explaining the ferment. I'm explaining why they thought it was a ferment. What was the reasons? I'm bringing science. I'm bringing history. I'm bringing scripture. That's how I do it. I'm breaking down the demons in different forms. What they meant in different cultures and how they got into the area where people think that demons are now. Okay. So let's go to rock. Okay, rock, breath, wind, spirit, ruach. So just remember this is the breath, wind, spirit. When people talk about breath, don't be confused because it is oxygen. When you breathe in oxygen. Oxygen is the main source of everything in your life. When as far as living in this flesh on earth. Okay. Let me see. All right. Water and trees produce spirit of Yah. Modern word oxygen. Okay. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was out form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the spirit oxygen of God moved upon the face of the waters. Okay? So we understand that the spirit of God is the power of God. We understand that the spirit is wind breath with aka oxygen. Now I'm going to show you through this how in this in this in this message how it's showing the beginning of oxygen forming. All right. Now check this out. The Lord made all kinds of trees out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life, oxygen symbolism, placenta, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So just remember these things that I'm explaining because I'm gonna break them down. All right. The breath of life. Now, when you look up the breath of life, when you go into the word of the breath of life into Hebrew, right? It means to inhale. Okay. So the spirit is oxygen, breath of life is to inhale. So the spirit comes into you, you breathe it in the spirit, which is oxygen, which is created as the breath of life that make you a living soul. The spirit of the Most High hovered over the waters is the beginning of oxygen. Now they say I'm crazy for this, but science prove it, and the Bible has science in it. It breaks it down. It just you gotta find it, right? Breath of life, which is means to inhale. To inhale what? The spirit. Spirit means breath, oxygen. Breath of life to inhale the oxygen. So that's how we go break it down. If you really study the Bible, you will see the Masonic and pagan translations that see the truth. Breath of life is oxygen. Okay, breath, Neshima, Strong's 5397. This word literally means the inhalation and exhalation of air in our bodies. Then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground and breathed in his nostrils the breath of life, meaning he inhaled. Okay, the breath of life. Let me see. Pronounced the breath of life, and the man became a living being. All of the Earth's oxygen does not come from the trees. Rather, the atmosphere oxygen that we depend on as humans comes from predominantly from the ocean. In photosynthesis, plants capture sunlight and use its energy to split carbon dioxide and water, making sugar for itself and releasing oxygen by a byproduct. Now, hovering over the water, spirit creating the first oxygen. Okay, creating the spirit. The spirit is the oxygen after its form. Okay, from the waters, the trees, and the water together is what makes the oxygen. Okay, make the human. The human inhales breath of life. The first time inhaling oxygen. Now I'm gonna break it down that through birth they go through the same process, right? So the Bible has is way deeper content that a lot of people don't understand that it do. All right, so let's go. Tree of life, symbolism, the placenta. All right, the placenta. Now, if you don't know what the placenta is which inside of the woman. When the child is breathing, is actually breathing from the placenta. The placenta is giving the child oxygen. And I'm gonna explain this a little after this one. All right, the tree of life. The placenta is called tree of life because while the baby is in the mother womb, it lives off the placenta because the human lungs are flat until it comes through the woman womb and becomes inflated with the oxygen spirit, in which you become a living being on earth breathing on your own. That's why many people don't try to say that you actually don't start life until you actually go through the womb. Because when you go through the womb and they cut you from the umbilical cord, from the placenta, you actually inhale your first oxygen. Okay? And like people don't know this, baby's first time taking the spirit oxygen. Okay, the mother's placenta helps the baby breathe, while in the growing of the womb, oxygen and carbon dioxide flew through the blood in the placenta. Most of it goes through the heart and flows through the baby's body. This allows for the baby to have proper amount of these chemicals in their body. At birth, the baby's lungs are filled with fluid. They are not inflated. The baby takes the first breath within 10 seconds after delivery. This breath sounds like a gasp, as the newborn's central nervous system reacts to a sudden change in temperature and environment. Once the baby takes his first breath, a number of changes occur in the infant's lungs and circulatory system. Increased oxygen in the lungs causes a decrease in blood flow resistance in the lungs. Blood flow resistance of the baby's blood vessels are increased. Fluid drains and absorbed from the respiratory system. The lungs inflate and begin working on their own, moving the oxygen into the baby's bloodstream and removing carbon dioxide of a breathing out, and inhaling. Right. So what that means, the baby depends on the placenta. When it leaves and it becomes a living being coming out the womb, when it's considered a living being, is when it first takes its first oxygen. Spirit. Spirit is oxygen. Breathing is to inhale the spirit, oxygen. When you die, the spirit leaves, oxygen. When you do everything that flows through your body, that flows with your blood system, that goes all the way down, is the oxygen. The oxygen flows with your blood from your heart to your brain. When you are considered brain dead or dead, it's because the oxygen does not flow to your brain anymore. And after 10 minutes, your brain dead. So it's crazy. After 10 minutes, your brain dead, and then the baby when comes out the womb, breathes within 10 seconds. Okay. So again, I'm gonna repeat it so you can understand what I'm covering for. I showed that the God Spirit hovering over the water was the beginning of oxygen. Then he created the trees. The trees grabs the sugar and stuff from the air from the water, lifting the sugar in the air. Then it releases oxygen so the human can breathe the spirit. The spirit is the oxygen after everything has created it. It's the last formula which creates oxygen. The breath of life that God's supposed to have inhaled in us is the spirit. The spirit is breath. Breath of life, inhaling means inhale, to inhale. So this is talking about the process of oxygen and the process of our first breathing in oxygen. Okay. Oxygen in the brain. The brain needs to constant supply of oxygen and nutrients to function. Cerebral asphyxia affects the largest part of the brain called the cerebral hemisphere. However, the term is often used to refer to a lack of oxygen supply to the entire brain. Oxygen helps send nerve signals and messages through the brain. When the brain doesn't get enough oxygen, brain cells begin to die. Cell death happens within 5 minutes or low oxygen. Okay. So when I tell people that science, you use science, science does not prove that God doesn't exist. Science only shows things that happened that was a mystery to us at first. Just because I can tell you how oxygen works now, I can tell you how things work, does not mean that God doesn't exist. To me, it only proves that it is a God because of the order of things and how amazing the human body is. This is not coming from no ape or no Big Bang. Okay, this is what I'm saying. All right, so again, I'm gonna say it last before I go to the next subject. Uh, the spirit of God hovered over the water, getting the oxygen, created the trees. The trees and the water work together. Okay, that's the final result of oxygen. When he created Adam and Eve and he breathed in the life, he breathed in the spirit. So the breath of life in Hebrew means to inhale and exhale. When he breathed the breath of life, and when he breathed the spirit into he took the breath of life, meaning he inhaled the spirit. He inhaled the oxygen, what we call oxygen today. It became a living soul. So when we say living soul in that context, it's talking about the whole thing, meaning the flesh, the spirit, the breath, everything becoming a living human being on earth. Okay. So science proves it. The Bible should knows what it's talking about, but you have to get it out because what happens is people, like again, I tell people are arguing over the wrong things when it comes to Genesis and stuff. Like is Adam Eve real? Is the snake talk? That this and that. I don't heard a debate today. People talking about the trees was humans in the Adam Eve story. They're arguing about the wrong things, and we are not, and it's stopping people from really teaching because we're giving anybody a voice that does not really study. All right. Next context is heaven. Shema. Heaven, sky. Not the heaven that Christians made. We're talking about the heaven that the Hebrews was talking about in the culture of what they mean when they say this. Okay. Heaven also the firmament. Now they said heaven is not the firmament. Listen to this. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And in the evening and the morning were the second day. So when people say the firmament in heaven, the firmament is heaven because the firmament is above. Anything above is the heaven because it means the sky above. Okay, it's above. It's not a place when you die and you go to an afterlife or a kingdom. It's above. It means sky. It means the atmosphere. It means everything that goes up all the way into what they call space. Okay, all of that is heaven. Firmament is a part of heaven because firmament is in heaven, meaning the sky. Okay, and the firmament is not what people are trying to make it seem like it's some solid thing that can't nobody go through. That's not what it is. Okay, I'm gonna show you why they thought it that, and we will get into a starter because we have to understand ancient culture. We have to understand how people didn't understand things, and that's why they thought these certain things. All right, are we living underwater? Researchers believe the universe might be a liquid. The idea of space time being a fluid known as superfluid vacuum theory isn't entirely new. It is suggested as long as half a century ago. But researchers Stefano Liberati, a professor at the International School of Advanced Studies, and Luca Marciani, a research scientist at the Ludwig Maximilian University in Munich, are the first to tackle the question of the viscosity of such a liquid. Okay, splitting of the waters, how space and water are similar. Consider in the same way how we perceive water. To us, it appears to be a flowing liquid, but actually, it is a mass of H2O molecules. Space time, the researchers say, is made of its own H2O molecules, although what these would be unknown. And a key point of evidence of their theory revolves around the four fundamental forces of the universe: electromagnetism, magnetism, weak interaction, strong interaction, and gravity. Okay, there's the four things they basing it off of. So what they're doing is going back and say these people are talking about splitting the waters, and I always say, what I mean, the space of what they say or how they explain it, and the waters are the same. Meaning, there's no oxygen. It's supposed to be no gravity. So it's things that's similar. So I tell people this: is it beings in space? Because there's beings in the sea, in the water. So if you really believe that it was split, then you have to believe it. I don't see how you wouldn't. Okay. And I'm not just talking about the angels, I'm talking about people with humans and wings. I'm talking about actually beings, okay? Only problem they have understanding is gravity. Quantum mechanics is about to explain all these excerpts for gravity. The researchers say that a plausible model for quantum gravity would be the superfluidity of cosmos. With modern astrophysics technology, the time has come to bring quantum gravity from a merely perspective viewpoint to a more phenomenal one. One cannot imagine a more exciting time to be working on gravity. So they saying when they studying things like the water, when they studying Shalom, Yasin, Shalom, Smash Idol, when they studying these things, right? They said yes, it is a liquid base. It is a thing there's a similar to what we call the waters on the earth. But the only main thing they have a problem with right now, and they're trying to get it is the gravity. You know what I'm saying? So, but this right here, just I'm explaining that it's research going on because this is not a foolish thing that when the Bible says they split that it's split, it's not because people would think, oh, he took some water and split it and put it in heaven. No, that's not what this means. And scientists don't know they don't mean this, and that's why scientists not fool enough to just think it's some thing that was made up. They actually agree with a lot of this stuff and they are studying on it. The Bible raised a lot of questions and a lot of research that people don't give it props for. Archaeology, a lot of archaeology, or the main archaeology, was based on the Bible. A lot of stuff is was found messing with the Bible. Just because it wasn't 100%, or they feel like it's not 100% correct history, if it weren't for that, they wouldn't have found a lot of these things. When they talking about this stuff is science and it's based off biblical stuff. You see what I'm saying? So this. Did Israel use the firmament methodology to explain the unknown? The idea the sky above as us is a solid structure is shared by almost all pre-modern human culture. It is best understood as a product of the pre-scientific mind attempting to make sense of what it sees and offering an intuitive thought, factually incorrect account. So what is he saying about this? He's saying in ancient culture they were not advanced in the science. So it's things that they could not really explain, and this made more sense to them to say it was a firmament, it was solid. So people in 2024 should not be saying it's a solid form around the earth. I'm just being for real. So this is what this is saying. Because at this time, and I'm gonna tell you, this not having nothing to do with the space being having liquid or being a liquid form. That's just a theory and study. But what I'm saying now, we're going to the biblical form of why they thought that the earth was split. And it's the simple thing is they could not explain rain. It sounds funny to you because you live in a modern time where you understand rain because you went to school. You went through all 12 grades of school and they taught you how rain was processed. Most people still don't know if you ask them, but they could not explain rain. They could not explain. We talking about thousands of years ago. They could not explain how the sky water fell from the sky. Now I'm going to go into scripture after this. I'm going to show you what they mean by that. That's why people are talking about splitting the sky. That's why people talking about cracking the sky because they believe it was a dome. So they believe that they believe God opened the sky up and things fell. But we know in science we understand it doesn't happen like that. But thousands of years ago, it was not foolish for them to believe that because they didn't know. If we never went to school, we seen water come from the sky, we gonna be thinking like, how's water coming from the sky? How is it dropping down? How is it stopping? What is making this happen? This is the process of thinking in their head. Belief in a solid firmament in ancient times. In Egypt, the sky is pictured as the goddess Nut, and the stars are all over her body. Her hands rest on one side of the earth, and her legs on the other. And Shu, the god of air, stretches his hands in the air to hold her up. So again, when people see this, they are talking about they believe is a firmament. So when people say Egypt was all this advanced, all the cultures believe this type of form that it was a firmament or a solid thing, and something had to happen to where it opens up to let the waters from the sky down. So again, when we talk about the firmament was created off of miseducation of science and how rain is produced. The firmament is heaven. Heaven is the sky. Heaven is above you. Heaven is not a place where you die. Heaven is above, is the sky. Ancient Babylon views on space and earth. In Babylonian creation story, Elish, Murdoch kills the giant creator goddess Tiamat and uses parts of her corpse to create the earth, and the other two create the sky. Babylonian representation of the hemispherical earth with the sky and the terrestrial ocean of Apsu and the underworld Ker, modified from Mesopotamia cosmic geography. Okay, so this is when people started talking about when you hear people start talking about the multiple heavens and all this stuff. Again, if you understood, once you understand heaven, heaven means above, heaven means the sky. So now when the people talking about the heavens, what are they literally talking about? They're talking about the atmospheres. Okay, the atmospheres, 7 atmospheres before you actually get to outer space. Because some reason people think when they leave about it as Earth and they leave past the clouds, they are going into outer space. They're not going into outer space. They're actually going into the atmosphere and the thermosphere. Satellites are not outer space. Satellites are actually in the atmosphere or the thermosphere. That's the second level of the spheres. So don't make them fool you when they're telling you they're going out of space. They're not. They're going into the atmospheres because there's 7 before you even get to outer space. And when they got to some ancient cultures were going past, they started learning this. That's why in this ancient Babylon, you see them start saying, "Hey, it's different spheres. Look at this, different heavens." But when you hear heaven, people say, "Oh, this they trying to say 7 heavens," and then you get into this religious form to where you think that it's some place you go where you die, and there's 7 forms of it. No, it's speaking on the atmospheres. It's actually science put into mythology, okay, that turned into religion because certain people couldn't understand it. Let me see what they say. Flat Earth make more sense to me. Well, I'm not even speaking on flat Earth or as far as round Earth. I'm speaking on the fears. I'm speaking on the firmament. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't really argue over the Earth thing because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think they know. And because I'm showing right now, they don't go into outer space. You see what I'm saying? They don't go that high, and they make you think they doing it. Okay. Now this is right here. Look, you had it's not all the fears though, but you had the atmosphere. Then you had the the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, the exosphere. Then you have outer space. So these are the fears. All right. Now you see where the satellites at. The satellites is between the exosphere and the thermosphere. The planes don't even go nowhere but around the atmosphere and the troposphere. Okay. So they do not pass this line right here. And I'm gonna tell you this top line with the exosphere at, between the exosphere and space. I'm gonna tell you what that's called. It's called the Van Allen belt. It's a radiational belt. If you ever watch like Apollo 13 and stuff, that fake movie, they trying to tell you that when they went through, they didn't think they was coming back. Cause why? Because it's a radiational belt. When they go through there, it takes control of the spaceship to where they don't control it because of the radiation. So look up the we never left Earth orbit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying because we are actually it's actually fears and everything and a radiation thing that actually protects us to keep us inside. So when they leave Earth, we have to understand we're not in Earth. We're on top of Earth. But when the Most High created these things, He created it. It's the clouds, it's the sky, the way the sky looks to us, because the sky is not actually blue. It's the actually the light that hits our eyes and makes the sky blue. So everything is created to make us feel like we're inside of this earth. We're actually on side. We're actually on top of the earth. We're not in it. We're just in the atmosphere. Okay, to where it keeps the oxygen closed in to where we can breathe because of the trees and the water that's on the earth. Okay. The firmament word origin. The firmament comes from the Latin firmus or firm, and this description of the sky as something solid reflects ancient ideas of the way the universe was constructed. The first stargazers imagined the sky as a sphere, and it wasn't until the 1500s that the idea of the infinite universe was seriously considered. Today, the word firmament is mostly literal, used to poetically describe the visual curve of the sky. Now, what they're saying is, in modern times, when they're saying the firmament, now it's just the curve of the sky. It's not actually the firmament, okay? Because in the time, the firmament was firm, meant firm, and this comes from when it comes. If you look at the word Latin, it comes from a certain people too. You see what I'm saying? So I'm having a problem to understand. Did our Israelite brothers or ancestors believe that this firmament was solid, or did the Greeks believe it, or did the Greeks get it from our ancestors? And I think the Greeks got it from our ancestors, just created this word firmament. But and I'm gonna show you because when we go to Noah, you can see in Noah's story that it says that they believe that it cracked the sky. When you talk to some of these camps, they believe when Jesus coming back, he's going to crack the sky. And I said, well, what sky are you cracking? And see, this is the problem people not having. The firmament in other times mean it spans. Meaning when you go to this infinite, this is span. It spans because once you go out of the atmosphere, is supposed to be space. Now I don't even believe they really got that far. I mean, I believe they near it, they can see it from where they get to, but as far as going through that Van Allen belt, I don't see it. Firmament in Hebrew, Rakaya, I think that's Rakaya, an extended surface expense. Now, see, this is why I said I had a problem with it because when you look up this word in Hebrew, it don't say firmament. It don't say firm. It don't say that it's a solid form going around the earth. It doesn't say this. It said extended surface, expanse. So that's the problem I have, because then it makes sense when you say heaven, because it's talking about heaven, it means the sky above. But when it got to Christianity and it got to these Greeks, they start changing these words up, and the Christians just got really bad with it because they started talking in a literal form of their belief. So they start taking their belief literal, and then start saying heaven was a place when you die, when they never met that. Yes, y'all made the firmament. Okay. Yeah, and I'm saying the firmament, if anything, would be called what they call the Van Allen belt, the radiational belt that goes around the Earth. It's not a solid to where the sky opens and it rains, because we know it. We know when you go into the sky, even when you're in the plane, you know you're not under in the firmament to where it's keeping, because that would mean that you're saying the water is above the clouds and he's opening up the sky and the water coming down through the clouds, when we know water comes from the clouds now. We understand that now. Was the water above the firmament rain? Okay. Some interpreters believe that the waters above were referring to the water vapor canopy and that was above the earth prior to the flood of Noah. This canopy trapped the sun's rays more effectively than our present atmosphere does and gave a semi-tropical climate to every part of the world. It is a form this canopy. I mean, it is from this canopy that the waters for the flood came. Okay. Astronomer Donald B. DeYoung lists the argument in the favor of the water vapor canopy. So this is talking about how, again, how they perceive that it was some type of canopy or way it opened up and then it rained. They do not understand that this happens in the cloud, and the rain actually, and it actually the clouds actually produce the rain. They are thinking that it's a firmament. It is something that's open that opens up and releases the rain at a certain point of time, because again they did not understand rain. It's simple to us, and it's hard. We gotta go back. It's simple to us because we are taught. When you don't understand it, if you never was taught rain, and it rains again, you're gonna look and say, "Where does rain coming from?" You're gonna look at it and say, "Why is it? How does it stop? How does it come?" If you never was taught it, so you're gonna believe that something is holding it up there and that something is releasing it. It's that simple. Example from verses hints that the early earth did not experience rain. The canopy would have greatly affected weather patterns, very likely limiting precipitation. During the great flood, the windows of the floodgates of heaven opened for 40 days and 40 nights. Now, when it's talking about the floodgates of heaven, what is it saying? Because we understand heaven is the sky. So they're perceiving that it's something or some type of gate, some type of way that it is open up and rain falls. Okay, this is something that they believed at the time. That don't mean our ancestors was dumb. They just wasn't advanced and was stuck. It was taught about this process like we do today, and we are spoiled. We are spoiled people today in the 2080s, 70s, 60s. We are spoiled. Okay, for 40 days, 40 nights. Genesis 11 and 12. The present day atmosphere could not hold enough moisture for such a lengthy deluge. Thus, the sky was likely difficult in the past in a way that could have included a vapor canopy. Now, this is a man today, okay, who's a biblical person who's trying to say that it way the rain is coming now is not was not at the time, because see they want to believe everything biblical. They don't want to say the is in accuracy in it and it's historically. They don't want to say that the science in it is inaccurate, because they want to believe everything in it. And that's why I bring up mythology. That's why I bring up metaphor. That's why I bring up allegory. That's why I bring up that you have to study history, science, in the Bible. You have to understand that everything it was a preserved story, meaning it's preserved, but it's mixed with a lot of other things that make it incorrect sometimes. Does not make it fake, but incorrect. There's a difference. Okay. All right. So I'm going to have to go to this demon thing. All right. So I already did spirit. I already did the firmament. So y'all go back After this video, y'all can watch it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm about to go into this demon thing. I just wanted to put some content for the people, some words, some stuff that you can go back and study. Don't take my word for it. You know, I'm showing you. Go back and study. All right. Why I say demons was mostly idols and pagan mythology gods in the OT. I'm going to show how mostly in the OT demons were referred to idols and myth gods with symbolism. All right, seer, demon, shed, probably demon. Okay, so this is the word that we looking for. Verses that prove demons were mythological and idol gods. Psalms 106:37. They sacrificed their sons and their daughters to the demon. Okay, now if you look at some other verses, it might say idol, it might say false god. They sacrificed to demons that were not God, that were no gods, to gods that had never known, to new gods that had come recently, whom their fathers had never dreaded. Okay, so it's talk about false gods, gods that you didn't know at first, gods that you started worshiping, because Israel again through captivity was worshiping different gods, different idols. And to us, these were demonic. You were demon. You were demonic to do this, to worship a statue, to worship a false god that didn't do nothing for you. This is how we looked at you. Okay. For all the gods of the people are worthless idols, but the Lord made the heavens. So we understood that it was one creator. It was one power of all. And if you did not worship them, I mean him, your other gods were worthless. They were nothing. Even when we study history now, we understand that most of them didn't believe in it. A lot of these ancient people didn't believe in them deities. Them deities represented a whole nother thing. That's why when you understand mythology, you understand that this whole God they tried to create was based off of something that was literal on Earth, that was in reality. That they did not think Zeus was a real person. Now today, many of them try to say Zeus is a real person because it's just like Christianity, just like the modern human. We take stuff and take it literal and don't because we don't understand mythology. All right, demon in Greek, Damien, an evil spirit. Demon. See, because that's what I'm trying to show you when it started getting to this Greek, when it started getting to this Christianity, when it started getting to this stuff, this is when they started trying to say there was an entity about demons. There's an entity about these things are wicked. You know what I mean? Because every time I talk to people and they try to say, "Oh, I seen this and I seen this ghost and this and that, and this, I seen this demon." I said, "How you know it was a demon?" See, it got to that point where the word demon becomes that because this is what they created it for you to be, right? That's why I say everybody gets their information from Greek mythology, and then they don't understand what I say that. Most of your information, most of your knowledge that you get based off of like Christianity and the limited knowledge we have based off of Greek mythology, Christianity, which is based off Greek mythology. Two types of demons in Greek mythology. Okay, and that's why I want to show too that most people are getting the watered down Greek mythology, not what the ancient Greek mythology was taught. So that's why I say people don't understand Greek mythology, and it just breaks down a lot of stuff. All right, so Shalom, Shamash idol. Two types of demons in Greek mythology. There were two types of demons in ancient Greece: satyrs and shaggy goats, more mischievous than evil, in the style of the pipe playing Greek god Pan or Shakespeare's Puck from a uh, midsummer night's dream. Then there were the demons, the divine ones of the law, of the word, and the rules by which one lived by their life. The demon Nomos, divine law, was married to the Damien, purity. Their daughter was Dyke, justice. The good demons were referred to as Eudamian, okay, noble spirits. So again, when you see them saying this demon stuff, they were not teaching it in a way where they really thought it was a physical form demon beings. It actually meant something because it was mythology. Demon, nomos, divine law, who was married to purity, whose daughter was justice. The same way I was trying to show you about the dream, the death, dark and night. How dark was the father, night is the mother, um, sleep is the son, and the brother is death. This is how they taught in mythology. Ancient belief in demons. The ancient Mesopotamians believed that the world was populated by powerful demons, semi-divine spirits that affected many aspects of human life. These demons were identified with natural phenomena such as winds and thunderstorms, but they could also represent the devastating illness that affected the population. Men and women unable to understand the cause of diseases viewed them as a natural attack or punishment for the gods look for ways to cure or counterattack them. Now, let's go back to when I was talking about Moses and the Pharaoh. When Moses was called, where Aaron was causing all these causes in Egypt, what did they say? They started thinking that these people were demonic. They started thinking these people was evil and their God was evil. Because when disease come, when these stuff came, a lot of these cultures took these things of which we would call demons. Of course, the name demon didn't exist at the time because that's a Greek word or coming based off a Greek word. But we are talking about uh, uh, evil things that happen. They think it is a divine thing that's why it's happened. And what they did is they caused it. A lot of them called created through mythology. Again, the same way right now, right? Like when we look on commercial and they have commercials like with bacteria and cold, right? And they have them in the commercial and they talking, but they inside a human, and then the human takes some medicine that kills them. That's mythology. See, it's just a different form. It's just a bit watered down form of mythology. They took a whole disease and they made it into a character. So when they put it on cartoon or put it on TV for you, you understand what it's saying. So when you take this medicine, it's going to cure this disease, or it's going to kill this disease, and they put it to you in a form that is entertaining to you. So you see what I'm saying? And that's what mythology is. Mythology is preserved and they keep it interesting, but it's not 100% correct, and it's not what you think it is. Okay, that's what it's saying. So when they Mesopotamia believed in this wicked spiritual thing that was affecting people, it was because of the diseases. It was the illness that they attribute to it. Okay, a demon in Neo-Assyrian period. Okay, what they say? There's a demon, Pazuzu. Okay, Pazuzu presence on amulet shows that his fearful strength could not be used to keep away other harmful demons. Although a powerful wind demon himself, as significant by his wings, he served as a guardian of home. Another incarnation found on his amulets commands the evil demons to keep away from the house that protects. Agony of mankind, disease of mankind, suffering of mankind, do not enter the house I enter, do not come near the house I come near, and do not approach the house I approach. And this is talk coming from an ancient time period into a newer time period. That's what Neo means. Neo means the new Assyria. So we're not talking about ancient Mesopotamia, ancient Babylon, ancient Assyria. We're talking about Neo. We're talking about after invasion and then coming back and creating the Assyrian Empire again, which is called the Neo Empire, the new empire, the new Assyrian Empire. Okay, so we had understanding that demon in certain cultures meant false idols, false gods. Other cultures meant diseases. Then it got to after the ancient and the neo stuff started coming. Then they start slowly saying, well, it's these type of beings that's doing it. Maybe we need to do this to keep these beings away that's actually creating this stuff. Then later on, through modern times, we took it literal and said, yes, they are beings. We started believing angels and devils and demons and hell, heaven, all this stuff, and we started creating it as a literal thing, even though it's not literal because you can't prove it. It ain't reality. It ain't most of you ain't never, and nobody never seen them. But it's all based off belief. You take a belief and create reality out. I sacrifice and worship of demons. Mythological and idol gods in ancient times. Okay. List of mythological gods, demons, ancient sacrifice humans for. Meaning of the name majestic king, dominion, the son and counterpart of uh, uh, Animet, Animalek, the goddess of the moon. Biblical references: 2 Kings 17:31. The people of Assyrian city of Seraphim were said to burn their children as sacrifices to God. Description: this handsome devil has a face of a mule and the plumage of a peacock. He also depicted as having a lion's body with the wings and the bearded head of a man. Okay, so in Assyria, like I said before, we was doing it in Assyria, Canaan, Babylon, all these places we was doing the same thing they was doing. We was worshiping different gods, we sacrificing children. That's why I told you in Canaan we were sacrificing children to my ancestors was sacrificing children to Moloch. Okay, in West Jerusalem, we would sacrifice our children to Moloch, which is Canaan, and or ancient Canaan that turned to Israel. But West Jerusalem, when we was doing it, this is where the lake of fire comes from. Again, that's why I was showing you. That's where hell comes from. Hell comes from Johanna Topeth. Look up them words. Look up Johanna Topeth, the origin of hell. Okay, lake of fire, where people burn, where people are sacrificed at. This is where the image and of aspect of hell comes from. Okay, Asherah, biblical reference. 1 Kings 18:19. The goddess 400 prophets eat at Jezebel's table along with the prophets of Belial. 2 Kings 23:4-7. Joshua had all the articles made for Azarah and Belial burned, and the adulterous priests were done away with. The Asherah pole was also set on fire, and his ashes spread all over the grave of the common people, and the quarters where women did weaving for the goddess were torn down. Description: often depicted as stylish tree. Strange story. She's connected with Yahweh as a concert, meaning that before the Jews were monotheistic, they God had a wife. Now he's talking about when they actually went to Canaan. Okay, and that's why kind of history is kind of tore apart, switched because of this. Because I was telling you Yahweh when they said it was the Sashu people, and then they had a part where Yahweh is inside of Canaan, and they end up giving Yahweh a type of wife because they became because when we went to Canaan, we did not take over Canaan. So when the Bible didn't break down the whole history, so when you we went to Canaan, it was not taken over. We did destroy certain ones, but then we went and joined with the cities that was already there, and we intertwined with them, and then we actually became oppressed by Canaanites. Then we rebelled and took over. So it's a process. This is how history works. It was a process that happened, but when you read the Bible, it doesn't break down in history or every time when something happens it tell you this happened and then we took over. It doesn't tell you that the process of us being oppressed, us worship. It don't. It does say we worship gods, but it doesn't break down the detail of it. So when you break down the detail of it, you start hearing things like Azarab, Yahweh had a wife. They was worshiping other gods. They was sacrificing to Moloch. They was doing this. They was sacrificing their own children. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said it was real wickedness that Israel was doing when we became captive in a lot of these places. All right, this is the last one. Dagon, meaning of the name grain. Damon, fertility, agriculture, war, death, and afterlife. Chief god of the Philistines. Biblical reference: 1 Samuel 5. The Philistines captured the ark of the covenant and put it in the temple of the Dagon. In the morning, the statue had fallen over face down in front of the ark. The next morning, the same thing happened, and the statue head and hands had broken off, and the worshippers of Dagon were justified, freaked out, and so they moved the ark from town to town. But everywhere in it resided, the people developed tumors. Eventually, the Philistines returned to the cursed ark of Israel. Yeah, see, we also started worshiping ancient things that we shouldn't worship. Like, let's go to Moses, right? Moses was actually worshiping. I mean, they were actually worshiping the staff of Moses. When he created the serpent and put it in the staff, they actually started worshiping that thing, right? So when Hezekiah came, what did he had? He had to destroy it because we as human beings tend to do these things. Let me see if I can. Let me see. Hold on. Uh oh. I did the wrong thing. All right, hold on. I'm about to send some link in. See who want to come in. All right, let me see if I can send a link in real quick. Tag it. Okay. See if I can do that. All right. I'm gonna do this. All right. So I'm about to add. I put the link in. I'm putting the link in the comment now. All right. Boom. I put the link in. People want to join. All right. So yeah. So again, we was worshiping different idols, gods. All this captivity. Um. That's why we was punished for so long, and then he had to get us out of there, and then we came wicked again. Got came, it kept happening. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand a lot of the influence, a lot of stuff still happens when it comes to this stuff. It's just like today, you know, under a certain oppression, under things that most people are Christians, and this is like the hardest time because we have took it as Christianity and we created it as is really was one is one of ours, and we have mixed it in with Hebrewism and Hebrew thought, and we mix it in to make people think that Hebrew thought is actually Christianity, and if you ain't a Christian, then you can't be a Hebrew, and this is the trickery that they gave us. Anybody want to join? Let me see. I can't see. Okay, everyone's joining yet, but yeah, let me read some of the comments I got in here. Shalom fam, Mr. Hood. Yeah, I know I don't know what's be going on. But yeah, so a lot of people hate when I do this, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm just trying to bring reality to it. I'm trying to, like I said, it's time to defend the Bible against a lot of people who are trying to destroy it. And we getting tired of seeing these crazy debates of these people don't know the Bible and they're trying to teach it like they do, and they're doing more and more confusing and deceiving our people, man. And I'm getting tired of it. Like I said, I seen a debate earlier. I don't even say where it was at, but it was so sad, man. It was like sad. It was like these arguments are going crazy. Like, is Adam and Eve the first people? Like, come on, man. I'm just being for real. Like that's not a great debate. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I mean, it's just the argument, that I see. Like I said, they were saying the tree of life was the angel, or it was a person. Man, this stuff that they ain't in the Bible. You can't just make stuff up. You can't just make stuff up and just act like you know what you're talking about. That stuff you can't prove it. See, what I did is, and can't nobody say I ain't do. I use science and history to prove what I see as far as when I break down a verse, and I use the verse. This is how you're supposed to be broke down. But what happens is we have let other people take control. Oh, right, Eric, big facts. I saw that. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was crazy. I could even watch the whole thing. But, but we have let these people take sides and misinterpret science and misteach science and make you think that science hate God when actually science can explain a lot of things that happen and make God more realer if you understand how to use science. If you understand how to use history. But what happens when people are stuck in one book and think all history and all science is in one book, defend yourself. Let me let you on. Let me let you on. Let me see.
Shalom,
Peace.
shalom.
Long.
Peace. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know you know what I'm talking about.
yeah. You said that. You said a trigger word. I had to go and jump on in.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was amazing, man. I had to call people up and like, yo, man, you need to hear this debate. Like this is crazy what they talk about. Like, I mean, it was I mean, this dude was trying to show metaphor. Like, I was arguing with the people because I was like, man, he trying to show metaphor, but that's not how metaphor work, right? He was going into Revelation and then saying the people, the trees in Adam and Eve was the trees. And that's not. If it was a metaphor, the metaphor would have said that. See, he don't understand. He was actually reading the metaphor in Revelation, but when he got to Genesis, he was trying to take that metaphor and make it fit in Genesis. That's not how metaphor. It would have been a metaphor. You feel what I'm saying? It would have said it. It would
Yes,
have tried
sir.
to. It would have explained that way in that metaphor. That's why we. That's why we did a whole show breaking down metaphors and allegory and mythology because people like that. You see, he was doing. He was, and I think he's amazing too. So you know, you gotta
Right.
be careful. Yeah, you gotta be. I think he's amazing. If I ain't mistaken. So you gotta be careful with them. You know, because they don't speak a lot of stuff they don't really believe. But you know what I'm saying? It just was amazing how he wasn't on topic, and then the person defending it, because I don't want to say these people's name, but the person defending it, he said the tree of life was an angel.
Yeah,
He
man.
said the tree he said both of the tree of life and the tree of knowledge were angels. Then he had a nerve to say that the first creation was Jesus and the second creation was Adam and Eve. Like come on, man. You see what I'm saying?
So it's comical, man. It's real comical for
Yeah,
real.
it was amazing. I was like, wow. I was like, I ain't never seen, and you know, I've heard this stuff before because it's just like I know a guy. I call him Jesus. I call him Jesus worshipers because that's what they are. But I know a guy that says that Jesus was the one that helped create Adam and Eve. That Jesus was the burning bush. That Jesus
Yes,
was the
sir.
lion's den. That you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, this
Oh, the
man,
angel in the fire.
yeah, the angel of the fire. He was one of the angels, Sagamore. Like I was like, that man, Jesus everywhere. You know what I
Right.
mean? You
Right.
know, so it's like, yeah, it's just like some people, and that's what I mean when I say some people don't need to be. This social media has given too much people a path to talk when they don't. They shouldn't be talking. They should be listening. They should be researching and studying before they talk. And this what happens with debates, right? Because debate happens is me and you might get in an argument, and or you believe one something, I believe something. But both of us don't really study this stuff. We just saying it, right? So now we
Right.
try to throw ourselves in a debate, but we never researched it. So now we trying to go and gather a bunch of stuff that we don't know nothing about, and we trying to teach it. And that's
Right.
why a lot of that stuff goes on. And that's why I tell people I don't teach stuff I don't know. And I said, and
Right.
it ain't too much I don't know, and I don't try to say it like that, but it ain't too much I don't know because I study everything. So
Hey,
when
I
I'm
get it.
arguing with you on something, believe I studied it, and don't be a fool and think I didn't study it. Because you come in the ring with me with that type of debating, you're going to lose. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you right there. You
Yes,
come with me with
sir.
that foolish debating and you just making up stuff, and I'm gonna tear that stuff apart. And that's why I try not to debate because I don't want people to look bad. So
Yeah,
I
I
try to
know.
like stay away from that, and I try to teach.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what I'm saying? But it's like I've seen people like you shouldn't. I be looking up like you shouldn't be teaching, man. You know, now it's no bash on them because, like I said, I
Right.
was a student a long time before I realized to teach. I feel like I sat around, man. I sat around the elders. I learned
Hey,
stuff. You know, I
no matter how
questioned
you put
stuff.
it, it's always gonna be a shot for somebody. I
Yeah.
guarantee you. And I was listening to it, and it did the way it sounded like to me is that guy. Well, I ain't gonna call his name, but it sounded like he was listening in on a DOA show, man, and giving him a couple of tips
Oh
and
yeah.
just jotting stuff down and trying to run with it. It would sound like what he was doing.
Oh yeah. 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 They did it, man. They listen. They do that plenty of times because you know, I was talking to somebody else about that since I've been on Facebook, man, a lot of these people that call themselves teachers, I'm talking about like top people that people looking at that they watching to this
Right.
day. They have taken stuff from us off of
Oh
Facebook.
yeah.
They have taken this knowledge, and then you could tell
Yep.
when somebody does not know because they'll take your information, but they can't
Yep.
explain it. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
that's when you know anything I have put up here, I have explained it to the T. I have broke it down. I broke the words down. You know, so I'm saying that when I talk about, I know because I've researched this stuff. I ain't going to just copying and pasting. I read this article.
Right, right,
'Cause I
right. I
know,
get
I
it.
know, I know that a smart person is gonna take my stuff and they're gonna go read it themselves
And research it
and research
themselves.
it themselves.
Exactly.
So that's why I tell people, like
Yeah.
with the baby thing, a lot of people don't know that the baby is actually breathing from the placenta. I didn't know that till I started studying about the body. And I was like, wow,
Right.
the baby don't breathe oxygen from the placenta. That's why when he comes out the womb, he has to smack. He has to make him breathe. The baby
Right.
lungs are actually flat to where when he breathes the oxygen and inhales,
They take that first
it
breath.
flattens up. Yeah, there's that first breath. That's the breath of life.
Sir. Yes,
It's the
sir.
breath of life.
What they say, the root out, the cosmo, no, the
Yeah,
root
the
out.
ruach. But the
Yes,
ruach, yeah,
sir.
the ruach is the spirit. The ruach is oxygen. The breath of life means to inhale. So you
Yes,
inhale the
sir.
spirit. You inhale the oxygen. You see what I'm saying? And that's
Right.
and people and it's some people now that try to say it ain't no, no, it's no inside or outside the body. I believe that, I said, tell like again, I tell people the conscious is who I think we
Mm-hmm.
are. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
when it talks about the spirit, it's talking about the breath. When it talks about the soul is actually everything together. The soul is actually
Mm.
the conscious, the
Yeah.
spirit, which is the
The
oxygen, and the
embodiment of
body.
yourself.
That's a living soul. When it said Adam became a living soul, I mean he was already flesh, he was already there. But
Mm-hmm.
when the spirit came in, it created a whole living soul. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And that's why a lot of babies when they come through the hole or come through the womb, like in Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
that's why they represent and honor the womb so much because when the baby
Right,
comes to the
right,
womb,
right.
that means that's the beginning of real life because they actually breathe the first time the breath of life
Right.
because
Maybe
before that they
like
actually
the
depending
wisdom
on
or
their mama
something.
placenta.
I guess some like the wisdom of just I guess the knowing of hey I'm alive but not knowing I guess if that makes sense as a baby.
Yeah,
Like breath. Yep, I get it though. I definitely
yeah,
get it.
yeah, and it's hard for a lot of people because a lot of people are taught that spirit, and it's confusing, right? Because like I said, you got to know when
It
you're talking to
is.
somebody. Because
It is.
if I talk to somebody like a spiritualist or a Christian, they're gonna say spirit, but and I got to understand when they saying because I'm gonna say all day, man. The spirit is breath. That's not, you know what I'm saying. So it gets to a point where they don't want to listen to me. So I had to learn how to teach to them and get them to understand my point is your point of view. So then when you talk I understand where you coming from. You just mean outside of this flesh, and I have to,
Right.
and in my head, I say that when you say spirit, so it won't
Right.
conflict with me and have me arguing and not understanding what you're trying to say. So it's like
Hmm.
it gets to a point that it gets that because once it started going from ancient time to modern times, then we've been taught under this modern era, under these religions, you start going back and trying to understand these words, and it's like it's
Right.
hard to because it's like you've been taught this your whole life, and it's like damn, now this shit
Yeah.
really don't mean this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's hard because when I tell people, they get mad. They be like, "So what you trying to say? We don't go nowhere if we die." I was like, I ain't saying that. I'm just playing all the words that you're using and getting you understand the words. And a person who loves etymology and a person who loves origin, it messes a lot of people up. You see what I'm saying? Because you start saying, man, demon didn't don't mean that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they say, well, they'll say this and this and that. What you trying to say? Oh, I say mythology. And I'll have people say, man, I might as well throw the Bible away. And I'd be like, why? Because you want
Hey,
to believe. You know what I'm
hey,
saying? You
hey,
want to believe. You
hey.
mad you can't just believe. You mad that I'm making you research. That's what you're
Hey,
mad at.
I
Yeah,
definitely get it, man. Because, like I said, what you were just saying, the piggyback off of it. I remember, when I first started getting like hardcore, what I'm saying, walking this words don't actually mean what they try to predict them as, now. And one of the hardest thing it is to do once you start to walk of truth is to realize what the words actually mean, and break them words down and stop yourself from using the correct term, start using the
yeah,
correct term. It's hard.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
like
ain't
that's
gonna
a
lie.
mental acrobat by itself. I'm
Yeah,
telling
yeah.
you.
When I
So
start talking to certain people, I say spirit, and I be like, oh man, I can't say spirit. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I understand who I'm talking. I understand who I'm talking to now. It's like
right,
it comes with a flow. You get used to it. So where you talking to people now, and then people understand where you come from, so they try to kind of
Mm,
like respect what you saying too. And the thing is, when you tell them the spirit means this, it's like, okay, now what do I call it? And that's get to a big problem too, because it's like if spirit means breath, then and I'm not talking about the breath, I'm talking about the being after you died, the flesh. What do you call that? Then it's like,
right,
you know what I mean? That's what it started getting to now. That's another discussion, the research we had to do to what do we replace it with? Because we
right,
said this
exactly.
word don't mean if demon means idol, and it always meant idol and it meant a false
Hmm.
god, but in the Christian form it means these beings that actually that's actually in hell that works for Satan some type of way. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that
And
ain't
if
what
you
it
say
really
no,
means.
man, that's not
Yeah,
what that is, then they be like, well, what is
right.
that then? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Right. It's like you
it's
gotta
like that's
dumb
like it'd be a
yourself
lot of them
down or
problems
so
too, to
sometimes.
replacing it and getting people to understand it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. And it gets irritating. It gets irritating because like I stopped doing it now, man. But I was really bashing on Christians and talking bad about you. I'm talking about recently, and it's like I got to a point where like man, I got to teach, man. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
I got to understand. I was in that curse too. I was
Yeah.
under that. I was under that teaching too, to where I thought Jesus was God.
Oh
You know what I mean?
yeah, I've
I
been
was
there
really
myself.
into that Christian stuff. Yes, you know what I mean. So it's like I understand the deception that you under, and it's hard to just get rid of everything you was believe.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's hard
It's
to
almost like
just like
bad practice.
when I say we living in the matrix. Yeah, like I tell me we living in the matrix. I said man, it's so much fake stuff going on, and we under so much of a matrix. Matrix. You start questioning what's real and what's not. You start thinking
Oh yeah, it's
everything is fake.
definitely a matrix.
You start
It's
thinking this
definitely
fake,
like a
this
matrix.
fake. Yeah,
Yes,
it's a
sir.
matrix.
It definitely is. Wow. Like you said,
And when, people think say the matrix, we not. I'm not talking about we in a
not the
machine and we got a
movie.
thing on us, but I'm saying, yeah,
Not the movie.
we're living in a society that was created for us to live a certain way, and they
It's simple.
created the
Too simple.
society for us. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
The
why
more you
when we
look at
brought
it, the
up
more you be
the
like, oh
money is
man.
reality. Yeah,
Right.
think about it. We took something like money that doesn't really exist, and we created it into our
Hmm.
reality. What they created into our reality, so we actually had to depend on it when there
Right.
shouldn't be no such thing. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's that much of a
Right.
control. It's that much of a control these people have,
Hmm.
or and it's only a percentage of people who control the world like this.
Right.
But they
Hey,
got
so
we got
check
us
this
all
out
in
though.
the deceiving of a matrix.
So
Yeah,
check this out. The wildest thing I realized as far as like the reference of the Matrix is that how they treat us in like in an oppressive manner and they make us think that it's good, that that's the what they're supposed to do. That's the wildest thing I ever realized. And
yeah,
it's like, like the Bible literally says the man who sits and lies and wait for his fellow, it's like, what I'm saying, it condones, it says that's evil. But we have certain people who sit in their car and wait for you to mess up to write you a ticket. How does that work,
exactly,
man? That's crazy. That's the Bible
exactly.
condones that though.
Yeah,
It's definitely
yeah.
a matrix.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I mean because it's not see this process of how we live in there has always been. I mean it's been in ancient times.
Right.
It's a process that been passed down. To
Yep.
conquering, to but this process of like that what you were saying, yeah, and that's why I made the effects of slavery thing because I was showing like everybody knows that the police was based off of the slave catchers. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
they end up just being policing everybody now instead of just a certain people. But
Oppression
the
that
process
Israelite.
of once we accept it as a people and then it passed down to generations, that's how we get stuck in that matrix because we didn't fight it.
Right.
You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? And so when people like I tell people today, they say we are free. Oh, I got my house. It's my house. It's my car. It's my business. And I said, well, how's it yours when you got to pay taxes on it? And if you don't
Yes,
pay taxes,
sir.
they take it
They
from you.
come in to
It's
take
not
it.
yours. You're not
And
free. You
they
don't
you
know
play
what
that
free
game.
is. Yeah, you don't know what
Exactly.
free is. You don't know what the word. And when people say I want to be free, nobody's gonna ever be free because free never existed. The only people, and if you want to talk biblically, if you believe in Adam, the only people who ever was free was Adam and Eve. but they weren't even free because they had rules and stuff on them. So nobody has ever been free.
Right. Subject to demand,
Yeah, you're subject to
man.
anywhere you go, you're
Yes,
going to be
sir.
subject to somebody. You
Hey,
see
I'd
what I'm
rather
saying?
fall in the hands of the Most High than
Yeah,
man.
yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people don't
Yes,
understand what
sir.
people don't understand when they say freedom and free. No, you're not free. I don't care if you got your own business. You're not free. You still got to pay
Right.
them taxes. If you don't pay,
Texas.
everything get taken from you, and then it's theirs, and you ain't got nothing.
Don't let them rise them up on you.
Yeah,
We rising taxes this year, boys, so we gonna blame
yeah,
it on the president.
yeah.
So, oh
And
yeah,
I just think these arguments and debates and teaching is just getting out of hand now. That it's getting
yeah,
to a
it
point.
is.
It's not having no substance. It's not teaching nothing. And that's why I'm teaching certain things. I teach like the mythology, the effects of slavery, the metaphors. We go into the allegory. You know what I'm saying? Because it got to get to a point where it's something we can teach, that we can teach the youth, that we can get them back on to wanting to learn. You know what I'm saying? But
Right,
talk about if Adam and Eve was the first two people is foolish. That's a
man. That was
foolish argument,
wild.
and that should never
That
be a
was
debate. And
wild.
I just think it is. It's a foolish thing.
That was wild, though. I was listening in, and when I heard them start talking about it, I couldn't do nothing but laugh
Yeah,
because what came to my mind is the saying that they say, in what's it advertisement and newspaper world. They say if
yeah,
it bleeds, give it green or whatever they say, but they basically saying that on print out. And so when it comes to that his show, that's what they do. And majority of people starting to think that it was a second creation, that people were trees. They think this stuff. So that's why he trying to, put it up
yeah,
there for entertainment.
yeah, yeah. I
So
mean,
it's
I mean,
wild.
salute to him for setting up these debates and giving people, a chance to debate. I don't have no problem because he said he giving people chances to debate. You know what I'm talking about. So I don't have no
Right.
problem with
Right.
you
That's a
know,
good thing. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't have no problem with that. But it's the people that's debating. I have a problem. It's the people the foolishness that you are
Yeah, the
saying
people
out
that
your mouth.
debating.
And then
Yes.
I see people agreeing to this, and I'm like, how's all these people agreeing to this? Like, what are they reading? How are they getting this stuff? How you
Yeah, old
getting
Joker
the tree of
one too.
knowledge? How you getting the tree of knowledge and the tree of good and evil? The tree of good and bad and the tree of what is it? Tree of life. How you getting these two and saying that these are angels, and then the other person saying they humans?
Right. Hey, that Joker
Like that is
one
just
too.
craziness. That's
Yes,
crazy.
it
That you
is.
have there's no scripture that you could. There's no nothing you can show that says that. Nothing. Because then
Right.
the dude go asks. He asks why well then who told God that Adam and Eve was naked? I said what?
Man,
No, he said why did
craziness.
God ask him who told you was naked? I said man that is the crazy. I mean if we let's just go into the story right. Even if you don't believe the story, now I'm just saying I'm going into the
Right,
story. The
right,
story
right,
the reason they thought they was naked because the serpent supposed to have opened their eyes to sin. What sin means is disobedience against God. The only
right,
thing God did not create is sin. Humans did. If you're going by the Adam and Eve story,
right,
and
right.
so once they opened their eyes, they look and see that we're naked.
Mm,
You see what I'm saying?
right,
Because everything was good. So before that, nakedness wasn't bad. So they didn't see themselves in that way. Because what happened was sin came in. Guess what? Lust came in.
right, right,
Embarrassment came in. All this stuff came in that wasn't there at first.
right.
You see what I'm saying? That's why a baby. That's why. And I ain't no Jesus person, and I understand. But this the parable he said that made sense to me. And that we should go back again and be like children, right? Because a
Mm,
child can walk around naked,
right. They ain't thinking about
and
that.
they ain't
You
thinking
think
about
you
that.
ain't thinking about no a child
Yeah.
ain't thinking about no
a
sex
per
or
a human
anything,
being,
nothing like that until
yeah,
introduced to them.
a dog can walks around naked. Oh, why you got this? Why you ain't got no clothes on? Why you ain't got this on? You see what I'm
Right,
saying?
lock them
And is
up.
yeah, and
Indecent exposure.
is that what happened when they opened the when he opened the eyes to that because he deceived them. Now some people try to say he opened the eyes, but he
Gave
didn't
them the
open the
truth.
eyes.
That's what they
He
were
actually
trying to say.
deceived them. So now
Right,
they're looking at things in a way that they didn't look at it at first. So when they seen it, they covered themselves. And then when the Most High supposed to have seen them, he like, who told you this? Nobody told them that they seen it. But
right,
the pro person he's talking, the only other thing being there was supposed to be the serpent.
Right.
So when it says,
A beast, not a
yeah,
person.
so when the Most High said in that story that now the man are like us, he's talking to the serpent because people want to say who is he talking about? He's talking to the serpent.
Hmm.
He said man is like us knowing good and evil. Don't the serpent know good and evil? Because he wouldn't have told Adam good and evil if he didn't know. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? So
Yeah,
he
I mean,
wouldn't
I
produce
get
it to him.
it.
So a lot of it's just the foolishness he was talking about was just crazy. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, people lost most of them anyway.
yeah, and it's crazy
Yes,
because if we're trying to wake up people and then people trying to put them back to sleep.
yes, sir. And that's the thing that get me riled up more than anything. It's like the more we push, the more they push, man. And that alone right there drives me to keep going.
Yeah,
That alone, shows me that hey, the Most High is near to us, man. Because the simple fact that they trying to counter it, it's
yeah,
crazy. It's
yeah.
crazy.
So this is like I just I wanted to put some content. I know I talked to DOA. He said I think tomorrow Friday and another I forgot. I think Saturday he's gonna be back
Okay.
on. He just been working at that, and so I'm just
Oh
trying to
yeah.
keep contact going
Right.
until you get back because I know how it is. You don't have contact for a while, you start losing listeners. Now they going to other places, so we trying to
Yep.
keep the
They get
people
dry.
keep listening because we getting a movement now. You know what I'm saying? We're getting a good movement, so I'm just trying to keep it flowing and flowing and flowing until he decided to do something else. So I mean,
Yeah, that's all.
like I said, I got all I got all type of stuff in the cut. So it's like I'm ready anytime to
You
come up with
already
anything.
ready,
Yeah.
prepared.
All they gotta do is give me
Mhm.
a leeway and say, look, go you could go put something out. I'm trying to
Boom.
get to a point where if you know anybody too, and then you can contact people. We're trying to get more people to come on the show. So they
Right.
could do a presentation or they could do a show or I could do interviews with them or have a discussion with them. So if you know any people that want to, come on the platform,
On the platform, hey, I
let me
ain't gonna
know.
lie to you, Eric. I'm with me and you more the same kind of spirit, man. I be scaring my way too, man.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I be having scared, man. I'm telling you, they not want to bother with me. But
yeah. I mean,
I'm supposed to
you
be
come on
doing
the
a
show and do
debate too.
whatever. Who you are?
I'm supposed to be debating the mod, man, on circumcision, man, because I'm doctor and talking about, the circumcision is gone. So I'm about to debate him next week on that, though.
Where you debating it at?
Man, I might try to do it on the line then, since you know what I'm saying, a lot of them over there. That's what I'm
Okay,
thinking. But
okay,
I was talking to DOA about it, and let
yeah.
him know, man, because they kind of getting on my nerves. Like, man, all right. I just say, hey, I'll debate him, man. He keep on trying to push his little false narrative. I'm gonna bring out some stuff that he ain't never heard. I'm gonna chop his head smooth off.
Okay. I mean, if you can't do it on the last day, holler at us. We got you. You
Oh,
know what I
yes,
mean?
sir,
But
yes, sir.
I mean, just let me know because I'll come up. Support you, watch it. If you decide to do it over there, you know what I mean.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, because I want to see. I want to see you in action too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Hey, I know, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It be like that. You always want to see and hear the truth, though. Tell
yeah,
you.
yeah. But you
Yes,
go.
sir.
So you got a presentation for? Or you just going off like you gonna pull up some scriptures?
Yeah, I'm writing down my presentation. Well, I might not do the presentation. I'm gonna go off strip.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I know you got some stuff in the cut. Yeah, I'm gonna
In the
go.
works.
Yeah, just let me know when you're doing it. You know what I mean? I'll come and watch. You know what I mean? Support you, support us. You know what I mean? So you know,
hmm
yeah.
But
So
I would say, yeah, I know it ain't really, it ain't really about they gonna listen to me anyway. Mostly about, entertaining and then sneaking in there anyway so they can hear,
so
you are,
what is he He trying to say you can't circumcise? What is he saying about
yeah,
circumcision?
he's trying to say that the circumcision is done away with. That's what he's trying to say. But he's trying to all it done away with, and we don't supposed to, we're supposed to forsake the law. What he basically trying to say.
Oh
Yeah,
man, I don't even want
yeah.
no. I don't want no bunch of. Well, I don't really care 'cause ain't no women, but I don't want to. I know women don't want no bunch of uncircumcised men walking around this one.
Man, look here. Look, I got a surprise question for him for that too. Because I know how to entertain if I want to. It's
Yeah.
like it's a question like, hey man, Do a poll in the stat. Do a poll in the chat and see how many women what they like, what they don't like. Let's see what it say.
Yeah.
You feel me though? Like, come on, man. That's the see who won the debate.
Yeah, y'all son said he will be there too, and he said keep the law.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah, you
sir.
know, he was a part brother, man. Cause yeah, I mean, I feel you. We need it's getting time. You know, I talked to somebody and he was talking about, man, let's go on there on Sinetta, man, go on there, go wreck some stuff. I said I might come up on there one day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cause you know, the people that's on there now, it's like especially the people that's
Yeah, man.
naming themselves Israelites, man. We got to. I mean,
Yes, sir.
we got to put a belt to them right now. We got to say, look, man, stop it. We go start putting the belt to you. We can put your time
Exactly.
out.
Punitine in that thing.
Yeah, because it's getting ridiculous. Y'all just saying anything now. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's some people. It's some ones I respect. You know, I respect as Israelites. As I mean,
Right.
it ain't too many I've heard. You know what I mean? Because it's like everybody. They I don't know. You know, it's a few that I ran across I could say have a good intellect. You know, it's a guy
Right.
named Jane Castle. I don't know if you ever heard of him. I like his. You know, he's a Christian though,
Hmm.
but he don't really talk about Jesus and stuff. Like he talks about like DNA. Um,
Yeah, I
like he
don't
was
think
talking
I
about
ran across him yet.
yeah, he was talking about like we did a show with him and Yasha. He was talking about how DNA, how he could prove a lot of stuff in the Bible through
Oh, okay, okay. On Yassa's
yeah,
show.
yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
get it.
He cool, he cool. You know, he got a head on the shoulder. And then my boy David too, trying to get him on here one day. He
Which one? Which Dave is
evangelist.
that?
He in the comments. His name David, evangelist David. But I talked to him. You know, this is somebody I
Oh,
know.
okay, yeah, I
Yeah,
ran across him before
yeah, it's
too.
somebody I know
Okay, gotcha.
personally. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay,
he don't
gotcha.
been
That's
to
him then.
yeah he don't been to biblical college and all that stuff. And he kind of
Ooh,
he he's teaching the same things we teaching, and he's going to the
mhm.
Christians and teaching and stuff. You know what I mean? So
Right.
he's going against his own religious people,
Right.
trying to
They
wake
hate
them
that,
up and saying, yeah, you know, yeah.
especially
So
them
he,
universities and them colleges. They hate
yeah. I
it.
mean, he don't tell me plenty of times where he be like, yeah, man,
Hmm.
you know, I went to the professor and I was saying this and that. The
Yes,
professor
sir.
said, yeah, you're right, but we can't
Oh
teach that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I got a
That's the
minister brother.
price.
I got a brother that's a preacher. I got a first cousin that's a preacher, and you
Oh,
know,
okay.
when I talk to him. First thing he tell me, man, there's a lot of stuff I don't believe that the stuff saying. He was like, I don't even
Hmm.
believe that stuff no more. But he was like, as
Yes,
a
sir.
preacher, you gonna lose followers because everything is
Yes,
about
sir.
money. Let's be for real. Most of these people are preachers because of
Hmm.
money, because they can
And
get into a
money,
building, they can get
entertainment.
offerings, they get paid. The preacher I used to go to, I mean, not the preacher I used to go to, but the church that my family is under. When this man got you might as well say signed because he got you know what I'm saying,
Right.
he got signed like a sports player. Like
Mm.
they built this house
And
from
they
the
doing it
ground
like
up.
that now?
Yeah, they built this house from the
Mm.
ground up. He had like 5 cars. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he
Wow.
make $100,000 a month. I mean a year.
It's
You know what I'm
all
saying? So it's like
it's
he
all about that influence
yeah
then. So they
yeah
going off the influence now. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
yep. It's like signing a contract now when you become a
I
preacher. So
ain't know that.
it's like a
Yeah.
lot of people doing it trying to get to that level. You know,
Right. Get them what they Rolls Royce. You can get that Rolls Royce and that jet
yeah.
like Clef.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And my brother a
Joel
good like
Osteen.
my brother a good preacher and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I know he don't he's kind of like he's stuck because he don't believe the stuff that he was taught, you know what I mean? He don't believe the
Yeah.
stuff like that no more. So it's
Yeah,
like,
indoctrination and stuff that they want you to teach,
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Like Catholicism.
Cause that's the first thing I did, you know, when I started waking up, the first thing I did is go to my family. I go to people that I know, the people I love first and try to teach them first. Try
Right.
to
I do
wake
the
them up
same
first.
thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
I
they
told
go
you,
to other
we
people.
kindred now. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care if they get mad or not. I'm still gonna tell them. For
Yeah,
real.
yeah. I mean, I used to sit
Facts.
there for like an hour or two battling with my mom. I'm talking about we pulling out the Bible.
Yes,
I'm showing her this. She's showing me this.
yes,
I tell them. I said, man, a lot of y'all people. I said, man, I said I had a harder time with my mama battling versus
And look here, I told you we kindred now because I did the same thing actually with my mom and my grandmother, man. For like, I think we actually probably went back and forth, man, every night for at least about
yeah,
2 3 years strong, man. I swear,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
crazy.
I mean, it don't make sense. It was intangible. My mama told me, "Hey, you want to go to hell? You can go. I ain't going with you."
Yeah,
Like,
I ain't even gonna tell you what mine told me.
yeah.
I'm telling you.
But I remember I
Yes,
got my mama one time, man. I got her and she looked at me. I'm talking, I was showing her the scriptures, and it's simple the scripture that people talk about now, but this was years ago. But the Isaiah 43, and I showed her that he was saying he the only savior, there ain't no other. And she was looking at these scriptures. She was like, I see him, but I still can't believe it. And I had to understand. You've been a Christian for damn near 60 years. You just, at that point, you're not gonna. I mean, it's almost impossible for you not to believe that stuff. For being taught that for 60 years, you know what I mean. So it's like it's almost impossible for you to turn around and say, okay, everything I believe my whole life is just not real. So I mean, I understand that.
hmm Yep, you're right though, man. I like I said, I've been through the same thing. Well, like I said, back in what 2005, and
Yeah,
man, they all were telling me I'm going crazy, and I'm trying to tell them the truth. They don't want to hear,
yeah,
it was crazy, man. I had got so bad at it. They started avoiding me for like almost a year. It seemed like, man, and then that's when I started just going to random churches, like random denominations, like Seven Day Adventists, Holiness, Baptists, Catholics. I was in them things, man, stirring up people.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
telling you, stirring them
yeah,
up, man.
yeah.
Yes, so I understand.
Yeah, I just said
Mhm.
sad to say that Luciferians. Yeah, a lot of these pastors,
Yeah,
they Luciferians, they Masonics.
yes, sir, they are.
And like I said, I'm gonna tell this story again. I was bashing on, I ain't gonna say bashing, but I was getting on these Masonics, right? And I was saying that, people like Elijah, who was a Masonic. I said, well, how can we really? It's hard for me to say how can we really call them real black leaders, right? Because in one hand they say they got a secret, and but they're not telling it to us. So I
Hmm
said, how can he really be a black leader? So a Masonic called me on the phone. He was from where I'm from, right? I know him. He like running clubs and stuff, and he used to help me when I was trying to be a rapper one time. He was like trying to help me get out there.
Right,
So he
right,
called
right.
me up and he like, yeah, man, why you saying this and this and that? I said, I'm just asking a question. And then like I said, I asked him. I said, look, when you a Christian, I said, you a Christian? He was like, yeah. I said, so do you believe Jesus died for your sin and he is the Son of God? He said, yeah. I said, when you go into that Masonic temple, do you believe that? He said, no. And I said, well, that's
Right.
what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
crazy.
you really not telling me what you really believe. And that's why I tell people when you argue with them, you can't believe nothing they say because they can't really tell you nothing. So it's like
Right.
I don't argue with them because what's the reason to argue with you or trying to debate with you when I know you're not gonna say the truth? That's when I hear people like Reggie
hmm
said it one time when we were talking about they were talking about Dr. Ben and they was and Sonetta was like Dr. Ben said this and that. You know what Reggie told him? He looked straight at him, had a smile. He said Dr. Ben was a Mason. So
I
that
was
stuff.
there. I was there that night on that show. You
Yeah.
see.
So you remember what he said? He said so
Yeah.
some of the stuff that he said here
Yes,
on TV he didn't really believe that off it. So that's what I mean
hmm
when I say that. You know what I mean? So people
Right.
act like we crazy when we say
Oh yeah.
of things like that. And I'm not saying all Masons are bad. I'm not
No, no,
saying
not
that.
all of them.
Because some of them are at a lower level, they don't know nothing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they
Some at
don't.
a high level, it's different levels of it. But I'm
Hmm
saying every time something happens, behind every deceiving thing, I'm just saying they be there. So
Right. Exactly, man.
they connected to it. So that's all I can say. You know what I mean?
I remember growing up, I wanted to be a Mason at one point, and then I remember when I joined the military, they tried to recruit me. So it was like, man, nah,
Yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah.
nah, man, it's crazy though.
Yeah,
It's
I tried to be one time because like I said, my first it's crazy. My first Israelite teacher was an Old Testament guy, and he wanted me to master the 5 books of Moses, and
hmm
he was a Mason. And I told and he told me he was like, man, you could be anything you want to as a Mason. He said, but they hate when you say you're an Israelite.
right.
And then I said, well, let me be a Mason. I said, how I get in? He said, man, wherever you do, don't ever be a Mason. That's what he told me. I used to
hmm
get mad at somebody. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm about to call the power of Satan, Lucifer," and I'm like, "Whoa," you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I just, we kind of like fell apart, but
Right.
He told me a lot, and he used to bang on them camps, but it was
Mm,
like he was fighting against himself. It was like
mm.
he wasn't a practice because you can't leave it, but you can not be a practicing one. So he
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
practicing it, but he was always gonna be a part of it. But
You
it was like
sworn up under it.
yeah, you could see that he was kind of conflicting with himself as far as like
Mhm.
I shouldn't have did it, but I'm
Right.
in it anyway. But I'm an Israelite now, and you know what I'm saying. So I'm back and forth to where you could see that some of that when he get mad, that it kind of like rubbed off on him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I mean, I like my next door neighbor was amazing. My boy uncle was amazing. My cousin uncle, I mean, my first cousin is amazing. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I've been around them, like I said, and they not mean. They not messed up people or nothing. They're not evil
Nah, nah.
people.
That's just what
It's
their
just
religion is, basically.
yeah, yeah. It's just like any other
Mhm.
thing. You don't really know what you in. He
Oh
said
yeah.
they train to not think. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I think any cult, any religion, any group you in, that's why I just can't join them. Like we in like I consider like I told DOA his squad. I said I'm trying to be part of his squad, right? Because just because you're not trying to brainwash people, just because
Right.
I can talk what I want to talk, and I don't have
Right.
no problem of you having a problem with what I'm saying, because I
Right.
don't try to join different groups, and that's the. It's like once you join them and you put a name. That's why I tell people I don't say I'm an Israelite.
Right. I
That
don't
doesn't.
run around saying it neither,
I
man.
say I'm a Yah only. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because once I say I'm an Israelite, then I start talking a certain way. You think you try to control me and
Put
say,
you in
"Oh
the
no,
box.
Israelites don't talk like that." You know what I'm saying? That's
Hmm.
the problem I always had. So I kind of say, well, I ain't an Israelite then. Don't call me no Israelite. And I'm still gonna worship y'all and ain't nothing you can do about it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Try to
So
put you in the box like they do the
yeah,
highest. What that is.
yeah, that's what they
Yeah, I
try to
don't
do. A
like
lot of
being in
these
the
groups
box
try to put you
myself.
in a box and try to make control you into what to teach.
I got a confession too with that, man. I had
Yeah,
when I was younger, like I said, in 2006, and I was
yeah.
about to join IUIC, man. I had sent in the application and everything.
Oh man.
Look, the dude called me, man. He was like, your name Emerson, we're gonna name you such and such. And I said, I thought to myself, I don't know why didn't this man rename me? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I was
yeah.
like, nah, I don't know about
Yeah. When I was trying to do the SVK, that's what they do too. Is like you go do a 6 month thing, and then basically you get a name from them and all that
that.
stuff. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But I had got to the point I had to hate myself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I already knew I was gonna be rebellious. So it's like it wasn't no
Yeah.
reason me joining because I was like I already knew I ain't gonna sit up. They gonna kick me out this motherfucker. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
so they gotta send that money.
saying? Yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
But I mean, like I said, I've seen negative of them and I've seen positive of them. And I tell
Right,
people,
right,
the positive I seen was it is a disciplined organization of brothers that's together. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
That's
I
a good
can't see
thing, the
that. Yeah,
camaraderie.
but I'm
Hmm.
not a disciplined. Meaning, I'm not a. I'm just not a disciplined person. I mean,
Right,
like if you say something to me and I don't think it's right, I'm gonna not agree with that.
right, right.
And
Exactly.
I
I'm the
think I should
same way.
have that type of power to do that. I don't think that
Yes,
it should be a
sir.
problem if I have a question or something. And I don't think that's what anybody has a question with me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we learn.
Right. Reason why I knew I wasn't gonna make because one thing that stuck with me growing up that my mom's always repeatedly said is two things she repeatedly said. She said always stand on your word, and the next one was always speak your mind. She always said that, so I'm
Yeah,
always gonna speak my mind. So they would not like me. you know, they
exactly,
wouldn't like me. Like
exactly.
no.
Yeah, yeah. Sean said, "Just say a child of Israel." I mean, yeah, I agree with that. Child of Israel. Well, I mean, we actually child of the Most High, so that's what I say. I always say because people get
Right.
mad when I say like some people at times I say, "What's up, God?" And they be like, What you mean?" Because again, of Psalms 82:6.
Right. I get it.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
I
If we
get it.
are gods because we the children of the Most High. We the
Hmm.
ones that call ourselves gods. Everybody got that from us, and we let other
Yes,
people take
sir.
that and make it think that we getting it from them. No,
Hmm.
Five Percenters is the probably the earliest, the most one of the most newest groups or religious groups out there. Well, I ain't gonna say they're religious, but I don't know what you really would call them. I guess conscious groups.
Yeah,
Like we
I guess
talking
the
about the
so-called conscious
'70s.
group.
We talking about like the '70s or something. Six, I guess like what the '70s, '80s.
All right. Yeah, I don't got too many runarounds with them, but I heard of them.
Yeah, I met one. I had a debate. See, because I used to debate before we got on Facebook. I was debating on the streets. Like the real
Oh,
debates back
okay.
in the day when
Back in the road.
and then, two
The
niggas on
block.
the street and they y'all debating. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I had a 5%er, and he had just got out of prison, so he had that prison knowledge. That's what we call
Mm.
it, prison knowledge.
Yeah, pretty nut. Yeah.
Yeah, so he got out and he was talking about Adam and Eve is AM and Eve is me Eve, and he was showing, he was talking like that, but I was like, well, you do know Adam name? That's not Adam real name in Hebrew, right? So you
Right.
just breaking it down, and that's where you learn that in English, it's really a side of what Masonicism. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And Masonics, 5%ers, Nation of Islam, right?
Mm.
Satanism are all a mixture. It has a little bit of occultism in it. It has
Right.
esotericism in it.
Yep.
It has mysticism in it.
Yes, it does.
I'm saying because a lot of them kind of teach her the same. Because I don't debate. I don't know. I don't talk with a Satanist. I don't talk with a Nation of Islam. Well, we used to learn from a little bit. I don't debate at a 5%er. I don't. You know what I mean? Even Christians, they all kind of got that occultive mysticism, esotericism.
Hmm.
Because when people, because see, I study esotericism, so I understand when you're trying to break
Right.
something down to that type of
Exactly.
level. You know what I'm
What's
saying?
that?
Like,
What's that verse said? Be a man studying all
yeah,
things or something like that. Yeah, man.
yeah. And
Yes,
see, people
sir.
get scared when they hear people talk like that, and because they don't know what to say. But I know what you're saying, so it's what I mean. That's why I have like I said, I've supposed to been in like probably 8 debates. But when they hear me talking, they like, oh no, this not a regular biblical person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Better
it's
know what to
like
do.
that's why I said sometimes I gotta feel like now I gotta start playing dumb so I can get somebody to try
Yes,
to debate.
sir.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Hey, I
but
do it all the time.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
telling you. I do it so much now. I just think it's funny, man. It's for real.
yeah,
Like a
yeah.
lefty.
Yeah, so it's like it's like a lot of these groups have branch offs of other groups, and you just gotta know what you dealing with. He said, "I'm
Right.
from the truth." Yeah, I'm for yeah. That's what all I'm for is the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And I
sir.
gotta tell people the truth hurts. The
No,
truth
it
don't have
does.
feelings. The truth don't
Right.
care if you don't like them. You know what I'm saying? Because the truth is the truth, and it's gonna be the truth if you feel a way about it or not. It's the truth.
Right. I definitely dig that. Tell you.
Yeah. A lie just give you hope. A lie deceives you. You
Also,
know what I'm saying? That's all a lie does. And
right.
he
Give
said
you a
I
little,
be smashing them too. Yeah,
give you a little pat on the back for a little bit. Make you
yeah,
feel good, but you lying to you.
yeah.
Crazy.
The people don't know I come from the old study. I come from like I said, we debating on the street. So
Mm,
me bringing out the books on Facebook. Reading straight from the books to, you know what I mean, like doing
mm,
paperwork, writing something down on a piece of paper and speaking out the paper instead of what I mean
mm.
having a whole to learning how to do this on the computer. So we came from I came from the old school way of debating.
Right.
But I feel like
Yeah,
that don't
most
work
definitely.
anymore because old school. Elders tell me like, man, the presentation will always. I said, man, presentation is the best thing that ever was created because I can
Mhm.
show you what I'm talking about now.
Right, right. It makes
I
sense.
can't just say stuff now. Anybody can say. Don't believe nobody to just say stuff, and when you say show me, they can't show you. It's always
Hmm.
supposed to be shown. So I'm gonna show you everything I say. I'm gonna break it down. A lot of stuff when I show, I tell people either I'm teaching it or I'm researching it. And then when I
Right.
research something and I find something, I'm gonna say, hey, look at here. And that's
Hmm.
why when you see me reading stuff, when you see me reading stuff, you see
You
that
found it.
I'm not saying it as I believe it as for I mean or this is complete truth because I show you what the critics say and I show you what
Hmm.
these people say on a lot of times when it's something that's an argument. So I don't try to
Right.
go forward to say this is this. You see what I'm saying? But
Yeah, the question and all. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then sometimes I go for it, like when I say the firmament, because when you look up the firmament, it tells you what it is. It's an
Right,
expansion. It tells you when you look up heaven, it tells you what it is in Hebrew. When you look up
right,
Satan, it's not something I'm saying it or I made it up or I gotta go look for it. That's what it says.
right. Mm.
So if
Big
heaven
facts.
means sky in Hebrew, then how did you take it and make it to afterlife? That's what how our researcher looks. If it can't
Mhm.
if they saying it's an afterlife, but it is this, then where did this afterlife come from? Then that's how researchers look at it and they go back and research and say,
Yeah,
okay, that's where it came from.
that's
And
how they make their religions.
yeah. But most people don't do that. Most people just say, hey, heaven is afterlife, okay, and they just
Mm.
take it. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. It's 2024, man. It's just amazing me how
Mm.
how we still think. You know what I mean? Like I don't sit, man. I'll
Yeah,
be on
man.
social media on like TikTok, and this person will just make up some stuff. Like
Nigga, I don't
I
even
see them
go
make
on
up a
TikTok
whole
no more.
story, and I go look on the news. I be like, man, that's not even on the news. But nobody
Yes,
goes and look at it. Everybody just take it
I
from
do the
face like this
same.
person is real, and I be like, man, that's not in
Hey,
the news.
I got one for you, Eric.
Yeah.
So recently, the new trend is, man, the farmer guy, man. He come on the TikTok and be like, "Hey, I don't know if anybody recognize it or not, but sunflowers grow toward the sun." You seen that one yet?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man. I said, man, you gonna shut that up, and then thousands of people hearted it. I'm like, these people crazy.
yeah. They don't look up
These
nothing.
people
They don't. They
crazy.
don't even go back and fact check nothing no
They
more.
don't, man. They don't.
They taking
It's
stuff with
crazy.
reality, what people saying, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, it is, man. It's real crazy. The sun's not real, man. The sunflowers ain't going straight up to it. Like, what are you talking about, man? And that's when I get to trolling people, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Crazy. Crazy. Real crazy.
That's why I said truth teaching. Yeah, truth. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's getting watered down there. I can see it. I can see the debate. I see what people. It's the same debate because see, debating is a deceiving. And people don't understand it because
Yeah,
I've
it
been
is.
a judge in probably like 14, 15 debates, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
see what I see is the reason these debates don't never get better and they always talking about the same stuff because it's either the person only know a certain thing and he don't really
Mm-hmm.
research and he feel like I could beat people with this one discussion and
Mm-hmm.
he keeps repetitively doing it. Like I know a person that don't debate the earth is flat. I ain't gonna say his name, but he don't debate the earth is flat like 5 times. He like, yeah, yeah, like
Well,
how
we
much
know who that is.
yeah, 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 yeah. If you know, you know, you know.
Yes,
It's certain
we
people
know.
that it's certain people that's teaching that God is light. I mean, they debate that 100 times. You know what I'm
Yes,
talking
I
about.
know you talking about too.
So it's
That's what
like,
we talking about, man.
yeah,
It's
so it's
electromagnetism.
repetitive teaching, yeah. And then so it's like it gets debating gets you to a point where I'm gonna debate
Oh,
something I know I
shoot.
can win in. So it's like
Yeah,
I
man.
only know this. I'm gonna debate about this. You know what I'm saying? Or they try to find topics or like an atheist trying to find a dumbass topic like is Adam Eve the first people because he think
Man,
you know what I mean because he know these people believe in this and he
I
know that's
got
not
three.
true.
What? Hey, what was that question? Was he asked? He said, "How many cells you said you had, man?" I got. What he said? I got more than one cell. Me.
Yeah, see he
He
was
said like three cells.
what he was doing right. He was and see that's why I said I studied evolution right because what he was doing he was trying to like he was poorly doing it. He was mixing
Yeah, he
metaphors up,
was.
and the
He
metaphor
was.
shit was poorly. Then he tried to put
Yeah.
some esotericism in it. That was poorly. Then he started saying he started talking about the single cell in water. And what
Yeah.
he's talking about in evolution, it teaches that you start off from a single cell to a
He said
multi.
he wasn't a single cell.
Yeah, then he said because a human being is called the multi-cell. So the
Right.
single cell is when the first beginning in the water to when you turn into a single cell being. So that's what
Right.
he don't know what he's talking about because
Right.
he think these
He done
people that's
hijacked some of the
religious are so
study.
slow that he think that all I need to learn is a little bit of it and I can beat them out. And
Right.
that's why I try to tell people you ain't gonna use you're not gonna fool me with that because I got a whole presentation on the evolution. So I know what you're
Right.
talking about when you say that. You ain't gonna fool me with that one single say now at Adam and Eve, I have a problem with it and you know what I ask them?
Mhm.
Uh when people talk about the Adam and Eve story, you know what I bring up? I bring up the X and Y chromosome.
Mhm.
I tell people, hey, If Adam, you say Adam, if Eve, if y'all saying if the Eve gene had the X chromosome and Adam had the Y chromosome, what does the X and Y chromosome make?
What does it make?
It makes a boy,
Right.
right? The only time a girl comes if it's double X. So the only way that would happen is one of the children had to have sex with the mother to create, and hopefully the X chromosome, the two X's could make a daughter. And we know Adam and Eve children ain't had sex with her.
Right.
So therefore, it was other people on Earth. It was not just two people
Oh,
created.
I
And
get what you're saying. Oh,
yeah,
okay. I ain't
the
never heard
triple,
that one
yeah, the
before.
double X makes children.
Wow.
Now the
Mm.
only way you can beat that out is a God gave Adam a X and Y already and gave Eve a XX, and then they
Yeah, they'll,
made
they'll try to say Eve gave
yeah.
Eve.
But see, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of Christians can't do this. So when they try to go into science, I don't heard them say, "Oh well, they talk about the
Right.
Eve was the X and the Adam is the Y," but that
Mm-hmm.
only makes a boy. So where how did the girl form when the girl comes from a double X?
Right.
And the only way the double X is going to happen if um Adam had to have an X and Y, or the two boys that he made had an X and Y had to have sex with a double X to create the XX. And see,
Mm.
that's when you start getting into that. But Adam Eve was
That's
never meant to
interesting.
be written and to be literal, and that's the problem that we have. It
Mm.
was never meant to be literal.
Mm.
But when I break it down, I had a breath and all that stuff. Is it has the aspects of how life works
Mm.
if you really break it down. But it's nobody knows how the where the first human comes from. Nobody. Science don't
Right.
know it.
I get what
Bible
you're
don't
saying
know it.
because, like you said, it's ultimately it was basically like it made it like fable for us to learn anyway. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
It
You
makes
see what I'm
sense though.
saying?
What you're
It's
saying.
learning in it. It's science in
Mm-hmm.
it. Like I have a junk called STDs in the Bible, and I'm
Mm.
breaking down how when you has talk about something with your flesh and how you got to wait 7 days and you can't touch your
Mm.
woman. It's stuff, man. It's science in the Bible. It's history in the Bible. Don't let these people tell you it ain't. They foolish. If they
Right.
think it ain't.
Mm.
They're
Because of the
foolish. If they think it ain't.
diseases and uncleanness. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
it's everything in there.
Right.
When they talk about
Yeah.
leprosy, they you know what I'm saying. Even though see, because they when we was talking about the leprosy thing, they'll take this leprosy and say, "See, leprosy makes a whole black person white." That ain't what leprosy does, and the Bible don't never say that. You know what I'm saying? The
Mm.
Bible made certain parts of their body leprosy, but you're taking a mythology story, you're taking a story that does not have real science in it, and try to
Mm.
put it on science. So when I came and I showed the leprosy part, it showed that leprosy is a skin disease that will bring you white patches. It would never turn you to a white person. That is a false, and it'll never happen and never will. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I have to show that because, and people hate when I go to science. Like
Mm.
I don't know if you know Apostle.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. You know I know
You
Apostle.
know, me and him had a problem about the Esau thing because he wanted to debate on it. And I said, well, I'm not going to stand about it because I know what you're going to do. You're going to just say God did this and God do anything. And
Right.
I'm going to
He
show
ain't
you
gonna
that
do
I'm
that.
going to show you reality of science that he can't be the first because the
Mm.
science don't work. And
Mm.
like again, like I told DNA, these people can't say DNA is false or genetics is false because then you can't. They don't tell me your son look like you. Don't tell
Mm.
me your son has your ass. Don't tell me your son has your mother nose. Don't tell me
Mm.
you look like my grandma because that's genetics.
Yeah, I kind
That's
of
literally your genetics.
when it comes to like DNA and genetics, it's almost like it's a lot of truth to it, but it's like it ain't you can't really pinpoint it if that makes sense, but it still kind of give you like an example of like, hey, you notice your son, he got your nose, he got your eyes, and he
Yeah,
even have traits that he acts similar to you or your daughter who kind of favors you more than your son most times. So I mean, I get it. Like I said,
yeah.
I like to keep a variety
I
in
mean,
my
I mean,
opinion.
nothing is 100%. But but to say like genetics is not real, and then but what I'm saying is don't say I mean genetics ain't real, and then you talk about genetics because when you talk about your nose, you talk about your person eyes and cut. That's
Hmm.
not genetics. When you talk about hair color, that's genetics. When you talk
Right.
about how my family got green eyes and it's passed down, that's genetics. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? And genetics has problems with it because it mutates. So you could have
Hmm.
a human that has double Y and an X. You can have a
Right.
person that doesn't a child that don't get green eyes because but their whole family got green eyes because genes
A
skip.
trait came
So
down
it's
from a
not
generation.
it's not that
It
genetics
skipped.
is yeah. So it's not that genetics is it's just genetics is misunderstood because everybody
Mm-hmm.
don't get your genetics. So that's why a person it can skip. That's why a person can, like you said, I know a whole family of blonde heads and one daughter don't have it
Right.
because on her daddy's side they ain't blonde. So she go on her
Mm-hmm.
daddy's side family, and you know what I mean. But her mama, sister, everybody got blonde hair because of the genetics went to there,
Mm-hmm.
so it skipped her. You know what I mean? Diseases is genetics. You can
Right.
actually create disease inside of you, meaning that you could be the first person to catch diabetes, and now you don't
Mm-hmm.
got it inside your DNA and genetics that you could pass it on to your son.
Mm.
Meaning that your son ain't gonna automatically get it, but now um he more
Prone
vulnerable to
to it.
get it. So
Mm-hmm.
now if he don't eat right, he
Yeah, sickle
gain weight.
cell trait.
Yeah, he can get it. See, I got a sickle cell trait, and a sickle cell
Mm-hmm.
person with a sickle cell trait mess with another person with a sickle cell trait. The child gonna
Get
have
sickle.
sickle cell.
Right.
So a lot of people don't know they have sickle cell, and they mess with somebody else that got a sickle cell trait. Now they got a sickle cell. Now they got a child with sickle cell. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's like people we talk about genetics, but we don't understand it in the simple form. Like when we go to a doctor and they say, "What do your parents have?" You know, you go to a doctor, they ask you, what your parents do you are your family known to have
Mm-hmm.
cancer? Are your family known to have diabetes?" They ask
Heart
you that for a
disease,
reason.
diabetes, they do.
Yeah, they ask you that for a
They
reason
do.
because it passed. Like my great grandma, right, died from an aneurysm. My grandma died
Mm.
from an aneurysm. My mama died
Oh
from an
wow.
aneurysm. My daddy had
Right.
an aneurysm. So of
Mm.
course I'm more reliable. I mean, I'm more
To have
vulnerable to catch a what?
aneurysm.
An aneurysm. I
Right.
caught a heart attack at 38. You know what I'm saying? Because the
Mm.
aneurysm comes from a blood clot um, flowing through your
In the
body
vein.
and it goes into your brain and it busts.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Yeah, so I have
Okay.
an AFib. AFib meaning the top of my heart beats fast that it can break down the plaque in your heart and it causes a blood clot and it can shoot it by its by the way it beats. It can shoot it in my brain and blow up and cause an
Mm.
aneurysm. And that's how
Right.
all my grandma, my great grandma, mama, my daddy, all of them. Well, my daddy survived, but he got amnesia. But
Mm.
that's how all of them got it because of that blood clot. So now I'm more susceptible to cause a lot of blood clots that can do something to me. So they got me on blood thinner and stuff like that, so that
Right.
for
Right.
I
Right.
don't get it, but you know what I'm saying. But it's part of my family because it's part of my DNA now and it passes down. So the doctor's not asking you that for no reason because it's part of your genetics. There, it's part of your DNA that you pass it on.
Right. I get it.
Yeah,
I
I got a
definitely get
cousin
it.
that's a Satanist, right? And he a Satanist because his mom.
Not a Satanist.
Yeah, he a Satanist because of his mama died from cancer. He blamed God.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. They
You
do
see what I'm
that.
saying? But
They'll do that.
did you her mama have cancer? Does she got a family that, does her family, are her family known for having cancer? Um, did she work at a place that had chemicals that causes cancer? I mean, did she eat food that is actually food that you can eat? You keep eating processed
Hmm.
food, you get cancer. So
Right.
don't
Especially
make it
processed
seem like
food.
just because she didn't smoke a cigarette that she ain't got that's the only reason you catch cancer. You catch cancer from food, you can catch
Yes,
cancer from
sir.
inhaling
Process.
oxygen. It's the baby powder, Tokum baby powder was giving people cancer. The perms one was putting in their hairs, giving people cervical cancer to where they got lawsuits out now.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? The weed killer, I forgot what the weed killer name was, but the weed killer all these landscapers was using,
Roundup.
yeah, Roundup was called as a cancer.
Hmm.
They already admitted they sprayed chemicals it was in the certain hoods.
Yes, sir. They
So we
still
don't know
doing
where
it
this. You
today.
don't know where their cancer came from. You know what I'm saying?
I remember,
Because not
man.
only did my mama have an aneurysm, she had stomach cancer.
I remember, man. I remember
You know what I
growing
mean?
up in the hood, and you'll see them mosquito truck come by and spray all that stuff out, man. We used to run and hold our breath, man. Like no lie,
Yeah.
when they come through spraying them trucks.
I'm gonna try that grade too. You said take turmeric and blood, natural blood. Yeah, it's crazy because yeah, I heard about the turmeric. And it's crazy because I don't know if your grandma and them ever did it, but like my great aunt and them, like you just go in their house, they had walnuts. They have
Yeah, black walnuts.
what you call them peppers? I forgot the peppers they call it. It's like a little hot peppers and
Jalapeno.
yeah, no, it's a jalapeno.
Oh,
No, I think it's red peppers,
it's
red.
about chili pepper.
Yeah, one of them.
Cayenne.
Cayenne peppers. Yeah,
Yeah,
cayenne
cayenne
peppers.
pepper.
They have aspirin, right? Now I'm not know. I'm like, what is all this? I didn't know that when you catch a heart attack, you actually could check the cayenne pepper, and the cayenne pepper could knock you out of a heart attack.
Mm.
That
I
you
ain't know that
actually,
either.
yeah, that if you get a heart attack, you actually can take an aspirin.
But that
That
makes sense.
walnuts,
My grandma used to always keep hot peppers
yep,
in.
and walnuts are our heart it's good for it's great for your heart. So I'm saying, so our ancestors because they was going through the same stuff. So when we were children, I'm looking at it like, why they got these weird stuff on the table? But it's just
Right,
in case something happened to them.
right.
And
Yeah.
it's just amazing, you know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
and
some of them elders knew that knowledge.
yeah, because
Didn't teach it.
when I caught my heart attack, it made me start learning stuff like looking at really what I can eat, what fruits, what does this, and it's like it's a lot of stuff that we just don't eat and just don't study on. And they
Right,
make these people, they make you believe these people are false when these herbalists when they tell you to eat certain foods, they make you think that it's false and it's not.
right. Oh yeah. Especially the herbs. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I got something right now. It's called black oil seed,
Oh yeah.
and I can't take it because guess what? I'm on blood thinner. I'm on a high blood
Yeah,
pressure pill. I'm on a pill that slows my heart down, and I'm on
yeah.
another one that for high blood pressure. And if I take that one thing does all of it at once. So it'll actually
Really?
mess up my medicine. And the medicine, anybody that's getting sick, do not get on these doctors' medicine like that unless
Mm-hmm.
because when you get on it, you can't just jump off. So now if I jump off this medicine, I can go into a stroke at any time. So it's like
Mm.
that's how they get you. You see
Dang.
what I'm saying? It's like,
That makes
but
sense though. I get it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's all about money. Cause I could have. I'm like, damn, the stuff that they doing, like this blood thinner, I could drink wine. Cause
Right. Oh yeah, yeah. That's
you don't
true.
think, you
Just
know what I
thin
mean?
your
You don't think
blood.
about it because when you go to get a tattoo, that the first thing they tell you is don't drink because you're thin
Yeah.
your blood, and it's like you ain't really
Right.
paying attention to that. You know what I'm saying? He's like, damn, that do thin your blood. I should have been doing
Right.
that instead of taking this pill
Or,
right here.
just like some older folks been drinking for years, and the minute they stop drinking, they get a heart attack.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I learned it's different ones to where one clot get hard up into and then blood clots. You know, it's different type of ways that you can catch a heart attack.
Right.
So it's like mine came from a blood clot. So it was basically trying to flow through my body, and that one day I couldn't. I tell people, I said, man, that's the worst. It traumatized me because that was like the worst feeling ever. Just because it's not a fast death. It's
Right.
slow. It's killing you slowly. Your heart beating, your breath going slowly. It's like you squeeze. It feel like a bear squeezing you, and it's just like it's
Hey.
torturous.
Oh,
You know
I
what I mean?
definitely know, man. On confession type stuff, man. Like back in what 2000 might have been 2020, 21 maybe. What is this 2004? Maybe like 2020. It had to be 2018 or 20, maybe around when I had started getting ready to get out of the military, and I was transitioning out of the military, and all of a sudden I don't know what I did, but I know I did something. I'll chalk it up to that because I did repent, but I had caught like multiple. They call it what they call it, pulmonary embolism, where you
Oh
have like
yeah,
multiple blood clots all through your
yeah,
chest and heart and legs. Man, look here, I caught it out of nowhere, and it's like you said, it felt like somebody literally had a dagger in my rib cage twisting it, man. I felt like
yeah,
I was still going to work because I could take a lot of, my pain threshold is high. So I'm still at work, like, yeah, it hurt, but I'm still at work. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to
yeah,
make my money, and stuff like that and pay bills. And it got to the point it was so bad. I went to my knees where I could not stand. It was that bad, man. I had to go to the hospital. I was out, man. They had to pump my blood and do all the extra stuff to me, man. And then I
yeah,
realized, like, yeah, I gotta come up, I gotta shake up out something. And that's when I kind of like, yeah, it's time to go straight, full horror and lean on the most high and put this idol down, man. You know, it was wild.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. Because like I said, when stuff like that happened and we survived, the Most High had a way.
hmm
Well, it wasn't ready for it. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
man, you was man, like you was blessed because blood
Yes,
clots shut down systems. You see
man.
what I'm
I had,
saying?
I'm
So them
saying,
blood
they
clots,
said I had
yeah,
them all in my chest, everywhere,
yeah.
man.
Like my
They,
mama had
they
them
couldn't
all in her
believe I was
lungs and her
alive.
head, and then, you know what I mean? It was, them things ain't no joke, man. Like
Yes,
people, it's not no joke. Them and high blood pressure. That's why it's the number high blood pressure is the number one thing in black community that kills with the black person. You know what I'm
yes, it
saying?
is.
And it's salt. And I tell people salt and sugar are
Yes,
the
sir. The
most
salt
dangerous
and
thing.
sugar.
That shit dang more dangerous than guns, car
Right.
crashes. I don't care what you
Man, we
think. That
love our
shit,
salt, man.
yeah,
That
that shit
sugar.
is dangerous. Like, and
Love
they,
it.
and they call it the silent killer. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it
Because
is.
I tell people blood pressure is so weird. You could be excited and raise your blood pressure.
You
You could
can.
be mad at anything that has with energy like that. It raises your blood pressure, and if
Right.
you have a bad heart or you have already had high blood pressure, you can go into a stroke for being happy. So people think, oh, if you don't be stressed and you be happy, that it ain't gonna happen. No, there's people out here that are enjoying life and was happy dancing and fell from a heart attack because their blood
Right.
pressure got too high. So it's to the point where you have to control it. Doing means of if you want to go natural, if you know what you're doing, to control it to keep it at a certain level. Because I remember I was in the hospital, man. They just by them asking me to sign a paper,
Mhm.
the girl was what she was like, man, you must be irritated. So I said, how you know? She said, your blood pressure going up, your heartbeat rate going. What I'm saying,
You
just for
sign
her
that
actually,
paper right
just
now.
for her to ask me the same paperwork. You know what I'm saying? That quick.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, like what I'm
Yeah, you
saying?
sound like my pops now.
That's
Yes, sir. It's him all day.
Yeah, you
Yes,
know what I
sir.
mean. So I try to like now. That's why I tell people like, why you don't be arguing? I said, look, I don't argue with people, man, because you ain't kill me, because you're not gonna get my blood
You
pressure up.
better run my pressure up.
Yeah, and I'm a passionate person, man. Like if I start talking about certain things, I'm gonna get hyped up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get
So,
hyped up. If people
yes,
think I'm
sir.
arguing with you or fussing at you, I'd be like, man, I'm just passionate. I'm not mad or
Yes,
nothing. I'm
sir.
just passionate about stuff.
In my household, we call that you just talk loud.
Yeah,
Naturally
yeah.
talk loud.
Especially when you're from the
So,
south, you know what I mean?
yes, sir.
And I'm not a
Right.
loud talker, so
Mm.
it's people they probably wouldn't even be able to put this headphone on. You be like, whoa, that motherfucker volume down. But yeah, I'm about to get up out of here 'cause I gotta
Yes,
go to work
sir.
like 6 in the morning.
Yes, sir. I feel you.
But if you want, like I said, you want to do some presentation, do something on here, man, hit me up. Y'all
Yes,
son, if you
sir.
want to come on here teach something, man, great 202. If you want to teach something, come on here. We waiting for people to come
Yes,
on the show
sir.
and teach. And
You gotta keep it moving.
DOA should be back tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. So hopefully we get these shows going with him coming back too. You know what I'm saying, and get some more,
Right.
get Island back on here, get y'all back on here, and get some more discussions going on. But I'm glad y'all
Mm-hmm.
came and y'all been supporting me while I've been on here. Trying to fill up the spots. So
Yes, sir.
you know, I be seeing you everywhere though. Don't think I don't see you. I be seeing you. I see you on the last day, and I be like, man, these. I be like, well, college fast.
Yeah.
I said, them motherfuckers be everywhere.
Yes, sir. Hey, I do see it everywhere I go. I'm like, it's smash, man.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's crazy because y'all not just only on there. Y'all, they trust y'all be moderators on everyone. So
Right.
I'm like, man,
Right.
yeah. So y'all been
So,
around for a long, long time.
yes, sir.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
anything you want to say before you leave out?
Yeah, I guess I'll just say, what I'm saying, nice and long. I didn't catch the whole presentation, but I am gonna go back through it, man, because I love knowledge.
Yeah,
I love what you're doing, sir. You know what I'm saying? I love all the elders in truth. And you know what I'm saying? The people who keep on slipping and sliding, get it
yeah,
right. Shalom.
yeah. I just say peace to everybody. Thanks for joining. I appreciate y'all coming. We trying to build more things, and we trying to build stuff for truth, man, for more of our people who really want to learn. We trying to stay away from this ignorant, ignorant. You know what I mean? The crazy, debates, the crazy topics. We're trying to do something that's relevant that's gonna hurt our people. Because I still got a mental. I want to do like a mental health one. I want you to come on too because you've been in the army, so I know you kind of know about
Oh yeah.
PTSD and stuff like that. But
Oh
I
yeah.
might do it Monday. I want to do
Okay.
mental health in the black community. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna break
Yeah.
down from anxiety to PDS to what's that thing girls have when they have a baby?
You talking about postpartum?
Postpartum. And
Yeah.
listen, I didn't know that stuff was real
Yeah,
until I
it
met.
is.
And she was just so depressed, and she was like, I can't get out, and I don't see, and a lot of these women that's killing their babies and doing stuff like that, they have a bad, and I
Yeah.
didn't, you know what I mean, and so I want to give awareness of this stuff, so that's why I'm speaking on it. Now I'm not a,
Right.
I love psychology, but I'm not a psychologist to where I tell people how to cure it, but I just give people awareness of what it means, what it does to
Right.
you
Hey,
mentally, the
awareness is the first
symptoms.
step.
Yeah, the symptoms of try to find out if a person got this stuff and to watch out for them. Because there's mothers out here that have children, they don't have nobody to help them, and they have this disease on them, and it's hard. And then when they do something messed up, it's like, oh, these people evil, but it's like you're not knowing
Right.
because you never face that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I
Right.
don't, I know I would never know what to understand it because I don't have a child, and can't nothing come out of me. You know what I mean? Stuff can come out of us, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah, I
hey,
got you.
you know. So, yeah, but thank y'all for watching. Like I said, DOA should be coming on tomorrow, Friday. We gonna try to get some more stuff started, so y'all be prepared. Peace.
So,
I woke up this morning. I woke up, I'm feeling so blessed. Thank him every day cause I'm alive. I woke up this morning. I woke up, I'm feeling so blessed. All praises due to the Most High. I woke up this morning. I woke up, I woke up this morning. I'm feeling so blessed. I woke up this morning. I felt so blessed. Your eyes opening up, that feeling is the best. Today's another day. I escaped death. Tomorrow might not be the same. I don't know what's next. I just know that last prayer getting done before I rest. Ain't no sleep until I done it. Fudge you getting prayed before the sun come in. You don't know the hour when that day come in. So I gotta stay prayed up till that day come in. I'm ready to say I woke up. I'm grateful that I woke up. That's another day for growth and that's watch it blow up. Just understand, one day we gon' have to go up and we gon' meet them close up. They act like they don't know such. But let me tell you this much. Oh my Lord, no, I will never switch up. There's gonna be some tests and some trials, just don't give up. Shaitan gon' whisper, we just can't slip up. We just can't slip up. I woke up this morning. I woke up.